Oh, where the opera? Oh, this is the place?
Oh, yes, it's something. Hey, happy butter.
Oh, okay, cool.
And.
Don't we forget to start the official video once we get to that point?
And we're like, but I think
I'll probably forget still one. How are your pancakes? Oh, beautiful.
like you're
I
being
feel
judgy
bad
about,
for asking.
like those kind of judging that you want to do that, so.
What's up? I saw you earlier.
You're being judgy.
Yeah, I just saw you.
Save some for the
Well, what the hell? Wasn't that for 3 each? Yeah, literally.
Yeah, with the Victoria's cake.
Oh, okay. Well,
I like one.
We want to put some of this on our pancake beans to have the full experience.
Oh, that's,
what's that?
Maple apple drizzle, straight from New Hampshire.
whatever that's. My spoons are ready, and I'm like, what?
Yeah. Just go on whatever. What's up, Manny? Manny came from chat.
Already? Why doesn't he just show up?
Just too quick with that in the chat. So Robbie, we gotta pick the super taxes. Alright.
Let's see. Did you take the syrup over there?
No, the syrup is in that, we gotta put that on there first.
Oh, okay, I'll put it to the same way.
I'm gonna tag you in those. Then we can do a random number generator.
A random number generator for what?
Taste of Texas. Round two.
Oh.
Wait, Seth, you got a fork ready?
Yeah. You have something to drink?
Yes. Can I provide some drink if you'd like?
Yeah.
I have water.
Who said
That's
it?
fine. Yeah. That's fine.
Just take this fork, you don't need it.
Right.
Look at these with his hands, it's like. It gets super awkward.
I feel like he does everything this is wrong way.
That's true.
Wait, what?
What?
All good things about you.
You're just a stand-up guy.
You're so tough.
It's been a while that we have been so roomy.
Don't feel close.
I know, I was like, I don't know how he's planning on doing this in his office.
No,
I feel like it would be closer.
I'm down. I'm down if you're down.
Good thing Mike built.
Bring more pancakes for us.
Right. Why got yelled at for grabbing 3?
What's up, Rainer? All right, guys, we're gonna enjoy pancakes before we get started, so you're gonna have to deal with us eating for a few minutes.
Eating weekly.
Breakfast.
Oh, fuck, I'm eating daily. Weekly.
I'm trying to lose weight, so.
Oh.
Social videos of us eating. That's loud.
Oh my gosh, you just jugged out.
Chill.
Oh my gosh, look at this. It's on the replay right here. That was glorious.
Yeah, that's a chug a lug, dude.
Oh my gosh.
Chug a lug.
Thickness going on here. All right. see, let's plug this on aux.
Here you go, stuff, my man.
Thank you.
All right, take in.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, I was gonna eat pancakes this morning. I was like, oh, I can't. Damn. I've never had apple on my pancakes. After good.
This is good.
At some point, we'll start the recording. Once we get to a natural.
That should have been. That was pretty good.
You have to redo it now. Are we blinking?
No,
What is this?
stationary.
Actually, do you know what that touch bar over there?
Oh my god, dude. Why are you the way that you are?
I don't know. I ask myself that every night.
I feel like you don't. I feel like you fucking sit in bed, look at yourself in the mirror, and smile like, yeah.
You really thought that out?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I remember it.
This is really good.
God damn, that's crispy. Oh, I got you that one, brother.
Very cool. Thank you.
I know the previous arrangement was not the best.
I've had worse.
No, I'll return it back.
Hmm?
So I'll return it back.
I'm saying I've had worse.
Excited to get gypsy though. Tell you that much.
Should have got it when it was on sale.
Do what?
So you should have got it when it was on sale.
Well, I was kind of broke that day. And the fucking thing sold out when I finally got the courage to attempt to buy it. Sold out. Mic check.
Mic check.
Oh, sorry, Mike.
I need to print.
She's in a deep days of the pancake.
My wife's gonna watch this and be like, what the hell? I thought you were right.
Yeah.
Eat my food and then go have fucking pancakes.
So you're saying space.
You don't really keep up with the attachments, you know?
Not really.
Valerie was like, she's like, I'm really pissed off. She's like, let me borrow your puppy and make me feel better. So I was like, well, you're actually being removed from the group, so I don't think my dog's gonna make you feel better.
What is that?
She was like,
What do we decide to do about that?
doesn't really matter what we decide, does it?
No. Alrighty.
You're not ready? Let me know when you're ready.
was just fucking with you.
I was like, what do you
I'm
need to do?
surprised you took me seriously.
Well, I didn't know if you were looking at some nudes on your phone. I don't know. Just give you the benefit of the doubt.
I'm gonna do it right here.
Are we blinking?
No.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check. Mic check.
Thank you very much.
They had like
I need you
10
to,
different other flavors.
in that group chat, to remind the guys about the Batman thing.
Oh, well, I mean, I feel like I should be here.
No, remember you said you were gonna be like, oh, we're
Oh, I
gonna.
said I would, but I'm
But you
not.
did 3, 2, we're good, we're good, we're good. Well, breakfast food for dinner is frankly one of the best American pastimes.
Always a good choice, yeah.
It's
Breakfast
called-
isn't any time food.
It's called Brenner. Thank you very much. You gotta call it by a friend.
Seth would know. And our friends over
Texas
at
royalty after all.
Six Scale Scavengers, Brian, Chris, TC, they have made this wonderful meal possible. It's
Yeah.
almost like the Last Supper.
Let me just say, I've never had maple apple drizzle on my pancakes before. It's just pretty good.
The boys know how to make some damn pancakes.
It really set off the. I don't like pancakes normally. This is pretty badass. I liked it a lot.
Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Seth.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. This is the weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's true. I don't hear anything.
Really?
Yeah, like oh, it's like super. It might just be that.
Turn the volume up. I think it goes like that. Is that better?
I might have been worse.
Turn the other way then.
This one.
Yep, all right.
Uh-huh. I feel like I can't hear anything unless I actually rub it. Try it.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I can hear it.
Is it
It's
better?
really low. I mean, wow. Hang on. Let's see what's going on here. Sorry guys, we have a technical difficulty.
This week on Technical Difficulties Weekly.
Let's see. Can you hear me now?
No, I mean I can hear you.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Play back. Oh, okay. Okay.
Can you hear what's going?
Not like I could with the other headphones. Maybe it just might be the headphones. But it sounds really good when you played it back.
I don't know why.
Unless I'm like right up on it, I could hear that.
Awkward.
Yeah, it sounds,
Is it plugged in?
yeah, it's definitely playing out.
Oh my gosh. Can I sit real quick?
It just sounds like I'm wearing headphones, like they're not on.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. I don't know. I don't want to turn the gain up too much. That's going to ruin the audio.
Yeah, no, just like a normal. That's fine.
Do you have one of those iPhones with the? You have 3.5 millimeters?
Yeah.
No.
You do? Let me see your. Let me see this real quick.
I play music.
Yeah.
Alright, I want you to see what I was looking to once. How's it going on? Wow. Oh, that's very cool.
Just pick anything. That's fine.
Let's try it again. Siri, I'm sorry.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Maybe we should just for that.
Talk.
Talk? Like that? Like I'm gonna be talking during the show?
I don't think it's bad.
I just can't hear it. That's weird.
Talk.
What do you want me to say? Anything? You want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Sorry, Seth. Don't do this.
I'm about to leave.
Took his pancakes and left.
Pancakes for the road.
I think it's because they're not like noise canceling like the other ones were. Here. Let's recut that. Well, you'll hear the static if there's static.
Yeah.
Three, two.
What's up, guys? This week.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2. Hey guys, my name is Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Seth.
Welcome to this week's episode of Collecting Weekly. This is the weekly podcast where my friends and I talk about the things that matter the most to us this week in collecting.
That's right.
Breakfast, Dean, we again wanted to thank our friends at Scale Scavengers for giving us this wonderful breakfast from Caleb's Country Store. You guys have a Taste of Texas coming your way, and we'll also at the end of the show pick one lucky member from Ox to win their very own Taste of Texas. So
Now, obviously, they had to get your address, but did you know this was coming?
no, and I feel bad that I opened it without you because I got a text that I had a package coming, and I thought it was something for my wife because I hadn't ordered anything. And when it came, it was from Chris, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I know he had just bought a bunch of Jurassic Park figures, so I'd assumed like he would send me like some figures, or we sent them swag and back and forth.
Right.
That's what I thought it was, and I didn't even think to to not open it on the show. I just thought it was like a private thing because he didn't mention it. So I was like, oh, he probably. Some gestures are best done privately, and I was like, Victoria, film it just in case, and it ended up being this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful package.
Okay, because you didn't tell us anything, so I was like, dang, like, he's hogging it for himself. And then in the video, like, I don't know if he's going to get any of this candy. I was like, you better say me something.
Oh, there's one there. It was only 2, so.
No, just like, it was like a shock. I was like, oh, it's in us stuff. That's so cool.
This is Seth.
So thank you, guys. That's awesome.
So we'll have to send them a package. Maybe they can all 3 get together and enjoy our package. But anyways, Dean,
Enjoy your package.
we start all of our favorite shows off with a very special segment. Would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, you guys ready?
Yes.
It's new this week. Okay, what'd you get new this week? I had a super slow week, not for lack of trying, mind you, but I got the, it's actually a Funko Pop, which is very surprising, but it's the Funko Insider Club exclusive animation Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
Boba Fett pops are the only pops I like actively search for, so I saw him at GameStop today, and I picked them up,
Nice.
That's cool.
and that was about it. I went to a few like anime stores today because I wanted to get like a statue, but I couldn't find anything in the right price range or like
Price range, I guess.
price range or like IP. Like I was like, I don't know who this girl, like where's she from, or I don't know who this guy is. So
Yeah.
I didn't get anything. What about you guys?
I went to the store too. I got Android 21. I know I said I was like on the fence about it, but I went to Steven's Collectibles. Shout out Steven.
Nice.
And I saw her there and I was like, I mean, she looks really cool. So I have to pick her up. And so,
I saw her at GameStop today and I was really tempted.
yeah, I mean, she was like a really nice, she's, I think, figure art, so she was really nice. Like, she has a lot of accessories. She has like 5 or 6 different face plates, like 8 or 9 hands. I mean, she comes with a lot.
How much was she?
I'm wanting to say like 65, something like that.
That's terrible.
Mm-mm.
It's not bad at all. You also got some hats that you
Yeah.
ordered for us?
Yep, got the hats. These super clean and crispy looking Collecting Weekly logos.
Oh, nice.
And you have the full logo as well, right?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh, and then I got this other hat, which I'm super pumped about. My dad bought apparel.
Oh,
Nice. Very cool.
Zach, can you one of those?
Yep, I got the dad bod. So I had a slow week as well. I'm tightening down the hatches because my new work week schedule starts, and I still haven't found a job that will replace my current one. But I've been getting into making posters, and I know Dean, we mentioned the 2001 poster from a few weeks ago. This week I made a Godzilla and a Pacific Rim poster.
Yeah,
And,
I'm not really too sure why.
I needed to have the films that matter to me on my wall. So.
Yeah, it just meant like I don't know why you thought it was a good idea.
Well, Dean, I wanted to try.
Yeah, the Godzilla one's actually really cool. I like it.
What the hell? Not the Pacific Rim one?
The Pacific Rim one was cool. I liked it.
It's a little cheese.
I
Thank
thought
you,
it
Seth,
was
you beautiful angel.
The Godzilla one's fucking sweet.
Well, you guys can take a look at them here in a second. I also
Yeah,
got
I
this.
got a good gist of it.
I got this really nice letter from Seth's son, and
Aw.
I was given permission to open it and read it on the air.
Oh, does this go
So
to
let's
hell?
see.
That's weird.
Dear Zach, thank you for the X-Wing fighter. It's so, for emphasis, fun to play with, but it was hard to build it. It is so awesome. Your pal, Ryan. I thought it said Ryan. I was like, wait, what? That's not his
Very
name.
cute. Yeah, you
And
know,
there's
that's-
a drawing of an X-Wing. Thank you, my friend, my good friend Rylan. Thank you so
that's
much.
cute.
Seth's kids are wonderful, wonderful human beings.
Well, they take after their dad, so.
Thank you. That is very true. Yeah, so really slow week. I am making some changes to my collection. Dean has offered, you've offered many times already, but
Yeah.
we finally came to an agreement to buy my Commando.
Yeah.
I love the figure, but we'll talk about some stuff later. There's something that caught my eye a little bit,
Yeah.
and we'll see what happens. We have a deal, but you said you have no idea how long it's going to take. So right now, I've got my eye on thing on Amazon. There's 3 left, so we gotta try to make this deal happen.
Gotta
soon.
move on.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there was some neat stuff that was teased this week. Some formal and others not so much. The not so much was Hot Toys showed off their new Far From Home homemade soup re-release. And we'll talk about that figure here in a second, but in the production pictures, there was a Mysterio in one of the shots in the background.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, it definitely gave me some hope for a Hot Toys Mysterio.
Just from the looks of it, I know it's a little blurry and obviously not the main focus of the picture. It doesn't look terribly well done. The cape looks like it's kind
Yeah,
of just like
yeah.
safety pinned on.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like that up and down like it should.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, again, it's not a main focus of the picture, so it doesn't have to look that good. So I don't know. I definitely wouldn't get my hopes up.
Well, I think I know, like, for these kind of things, they sometimes, it's a background, so they just kind of piece it together
Right.
for the sake of the photo shoot. I think the final picture, final release might be, obviously higher quality than that.
If it was in other photos, because they released what, like 60 photos? It's only in
It's like
one.
32, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but then, you're right. It was only in one.
It's only in one, so
I think it was Mervin that pointed it out to me. I
Yeah.
kind of scrolled through the album really quickly. I didn't even see it.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting my hopes up. I probably would get it anyways. Just never see it really kind of fucked over that guy.
Well, we'll see if he comes out with the official Steam. You know what I'm saying? Half-Life Steam game. Oh man, I got into a
Steam game.
I got into a tizzle on a Facebook group.
Yeah,
today.
can we talk about that later? I don't know. You want to say?
Oh, I need that blood. MC Toys showed off their SWAT suit Tony Stark. This is from in-game when they go back in time to get the scepter. And I gotta say it looks okay. It wasn't solicited for pre-order just yet, but you know, it was a thing.
I mean, it's just
That
like
was
a
there.
SWAT.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I don't know who this is for.
Tony
It's
Stark
kind of a
on a
weird-
SWAT suit.
You know, figure.
Well, it does have the Tesseract in a briefcase, and it's an LED light. So I mean, they did put some effort in making this, but
But it's like, who wants like that figure? They're like, you know what?
yeah, if you're like, I'm gonna have one Tony Stark in my collection, it's gonna be SWAT.
It's definitely the SWAT Tony Stark.
There's probably some dude that like hardcore collects SWAT figures, and he's gonna buy that and use the head for another figure. It's like he's like, this is exactly what I've been waiting for, and that one guy's going to be very happy. The Cersei 6-scale figure from Game of Thrones was shown, and my man's, it is looking rough.
Yeah.
Honestly, I probably am gonna cancel my Jon Snow pre-order, but that like was the nail in the coffin.
What
Like
is
they
that the
cannot,
nail in the coffin?
they cannot deliver from prototype to final. They can't.
Only the Hounds has been.
Well,
The Hound is
Hound is fucking bad.
badass.
Cody got one from Echo-based Customs, and I wasn't saying her theory, but
You gotta.
but
You gotta
anyways,
get on that because that Hound figures up for like.
no, but that's a really nice figure.
That's the only one. All their other Game of Thrones ones are just dead on arrival. It's like, what is this?
I mean, I will say that the costume looked good. But
True.
Put her heads up.
But it's like.
I will give you that. The costume looked very well done, and,
Yeah.
and that's never been the
Three-
letdown.
Yeah, 3-0 always does really well.
Yeah.
Considering it's mostly plastic parts, like the boots, the
Yeah, the
gloves,
belts.
the belts, it's all
All
plastic.
right?
Yeah, like it's all
The
plastic.
belts are rubber.
Yeah, the belts are
Rubber / plastic.
But it's like, even at that, they're usually out of the park. They're
Yeah.
amazing. But their sculpts,
Hmm.
from prototype to final, it's like, what?
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Conspiracy theory here. What if they do it on purpose so people like Eleven or some of the other customizers can put out the heads to finish off your collectible?
That's true.
That's a terrible plan, though. Why wouldn't you just do it?
I don't know.
That's a weird Mercenary Tau from Dragon Ball. We mentioned it last week, but this week he was shown officially with the pillar that he flies on. And
Yeah, it was like easy.
someone's like, yo, this motherfucker has a chalk stick.
That's what I said.
I
died.
Oh,
It's just like my
yeah.
kid's chalk.
Dude, I
It's
legit
all like,
laughed out loud. That was
Trick
awesome.
street junk. Yeah.
like their sidewalk chalk.
Yeah.
That's what I don't need the pillar. I can just go pick up my kid's
Yeah.
sidewalk chalk.
No, I just have easy.
Easy pass. Now, I don't get into Funko Pops sort of like you, Dean, but I have an urge to get these Gladiator Funko Pops. I have here Maximus on the table, and Gladiator is one of my favorite films of all time. One of the first films I saw in 4K. What?
That's so weird.
How's it weird?
It's just like kind of forgettable.
That was not a forgettable movie.
I don't-
Motherfucker, that film won like 8 Oscars.
I
movie
know,
was
it's
bad.
so good.
What's your favorite movie? One of your favorite movies?
I don't know.
Ghost
That
in the
Element.
Pardon my man. That's actually pretty
It's
good.
a solid movie.
I give you that.
That's like not me going into like Blade Runner.
No, but it's a good film.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Seth likes it. And,
I don't know. Maybe it's just like Russell Crowe doesn't. He like rubs me the wrong way, so I'm like. it's-
He has-
I don't want to know how Russell Crowe rubs you.
Yeah.
Although I do really
He rubs
enjoy
himself in the Russell Crowe.
Joaquin Phoenix in that movie.
Yeah, he's fucking dope.
Is Henry Cavill in that movie? He's like a little kid.
I don't know.
No,
Google that. We'll keep the bit going while you're looking that up. Anyway, so there was a masked Maximus, which is obviously from the Gladiator battle scenes.
That's a badass.
The final battle Maximus, black suit Commodus, and then the General Maximus. And I have my General here, which I got from Seth.
Is that why he
which I
was
sold.
on the
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know why he was on
I just have
the
to point out that, what was it? Mervin said is that Jon Snow, so obviously.
Wow, breaking my heart, man. Breaking my heart. Yeah, so they look really cool. I think the general version is an FYE exclusive. So if you're listening, if you're on Ox and you come across this figure, this Funko Pop rather, hit me up. I will maybe we can work out an arrangement to
Pay you
pick it
half
up.
of what it's worth.
I'll pay you half of what it's worth, and actually you'll pay me to send it to me
Yeah,
for the
he's
right to be in the studio.
yeah, he's the star.
Yeah.
He's a star, the
Ready to hear
golden boy
it.
himself.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can find that because I think I could live without the other three, but since I have the general version in 6 scale, it'd be nice to have a Funko Pop
Yeah.
with it.
Nah, the one with the mask is
So it's really neat because in the film, he starts off like a super poor gladiator, and as the film progresses and he gains more notoriety, his armor becomes like more intricate
Mhm.
because he's able to afford more gear. Man, I just love that film though. Did you have an
maybe that
answer?
is a good movie.
Did you have an answer?
Huh? Oh, I haven't looked at it.
I think Hans Zimmer.
My
did
phone is
score.
so slow. Dude.
I don't know how you don't like that film. All right, we'll move on. Far From Home, new pre-order, the homemade suit, which is $267, releasing October to December 2020. Very mixed reactions on this figure. The original was $220, so you're paying about $47 more. If you adjust the price for inflation from 2017, when the first one was solicited, to today, it comes out to about $230, so about $10 more. But with this version, you're getting a much nicer base, which is worth about $20-30 for a diorama style base. So I can easily
And
see how
the
they're. Yeah, well, it's like kind of like a whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Because the original one, I owned that one, and that stand was really small, and it was a regular stand with a dynamic pull,
Mhm.
and where you insert the stand into the base, that would snap. And not only that, but the base was so small, if you put Spider-Man in any real pose, it would tip over because there wasn't a large footprint. Like the Deadpool base is like pretty large.
Yeah.
So this is I see this as a win. I have to tip my hat to Hot Toys. You're maintaining the value of the first release because you're not giving them a head sculpt. You're allowing people who missed out on the first figure the chance to own that suit because the retail secondhand on that figure is like $400 or $500.
Yeah.
I'm surprised more people aren't outraged.
Oh, people are outraged, but I have to say I tip my hat to them. This is a pretty nice, really.
Every
really nice.
Camel's not in the fight.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll resolve.
Thank God. What do you guys think about it? Let's see what you think.
Well, I pretty much agree with you. I think it's cool for people who didn't get it. It's also cool because that suit was only in the movie for
A
like
few seconds.
a few seconds, so it's a nice little nod.
I definitely appreciate that they didn't include that head sculpt that was in the first release.
True.
It really maintains the value for that head in that first release.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, it looks good, and I mean, I'm on the fence about it. I don't think I get it.
Oh, I wouldn't get it, but I mean, that's probably one of the best Spider-Man figures ever released because the
Yeah.
whole suit is fabric. You can
So you're
push
not
that
gonna
thing.
have that weird, like, creasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. I don't know how much I want to talk about this, but so Steve from 6 Scale Scavengers, wonderful guy. We had a conversation today, and the gap between some of Hot Toys' initial picks. This guy posted on the 6 Scale Scavengers Collectors group, which is a wonderful group, by the way. Brian and Chris, TC, they run a really tight ship there. And he was posting like, I don't understand the outrage for the use of Photoshop because there's in some of these pictures, there's Iron Man doing blast effects or like
Mhm.
figures are flying, and so he's like, obviously Photoshop is very commonplace, and I think with those things, I understand that if I'm buying a Doctor Strange, he's not going to be doing actual spells, like it's going to be an effect or certain things I can understand, and one of the things that was brought up by myself was that the black suit, I think it's called the upgraded suit from Far From Home.
Yeah.
When Hot Toys put up the pre-order pictures, some eagle-eyed fans were like, if you zoom in really closely in the pelvic region, you can see where they brushed out some wrinkles. And everyone was thinking, well, no, they wouldn't do that. They clearly upgraded the body, or clearly they upgraded the, the suit material.
Clearly they're lying to you.
when it was shown at SDCC in almost an identical pose to one of the pictures they posted, you could see a massive priest, like, all the Spider-Man have.
Yeah.
And, I mentioned that, and I put it like this, it's not a huge deal that this figure had that because there was no NRD. So even if they were being dishonest, you could cancel it without penalty. And Steven mentioned, well, if we let them slide here, they're going to continue to do it.
Right.
And I mentioned, well, are you keeping your Stanley pre-order or canceling it? And he had said that he was keeping it. But to me, it's a cool figure, obviously. And it's a figure that never is going to come out again. But as collectors, and especially like collectors in a more vocal role in this community, where we have like the podcast, and he has his YouTube podcast as well, I think we have to be able to a higher standard where if we see something like that and we're extremely disappointed by it, we should act on it.
Yeah, like, this is unacceptable. Oh, okay, you canceled your thing? No, it's cool. So
Yeah,
it obviously
so-
is acceptable.
Because if this would have been for like an issue with a stormtrooper, I think more people would be willing to cancel because it's, stormtroopers are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's Stan Lee, does it become acceptable for them to make a shortcut like the Steam Gate? And that's kind of what I was getting at today, and I hope you didn't take it like in a negative way.
No.
But I was just saying that, if you didn't like it, complaining in a private Facebook group isn't going to fix anything. And obviously, the timing's kind of weird because I think that Hot Toys had already put out the disclaimer by the time they had put up on their private group the, hey, what's going
I
on?
thought they
post.
went back and changed it though.
JC Hung put a post and put it in there. I don't know if he changed the post, but
No.
at any rate,
I remember them like going back and changing the post that was already there.
I'm not sure. At any rate, I just feel like if you're unhappy, saying you're unhappy or like even calling out a company like Hot Toys doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they seem to care more about dollars than cents. If you look at any,
If you say it's unacceptable, you need to back up what you're saying.
yeah,
It's like, don't say that this is unacceptable and still buy it. Obviously,
Yeah.
then that you're saying it is acceptable. Because,
Today,
my gosh, Alexa's listening.
27 meters down.
Alexa, stop. What are you saying?
oh my God.
What are you saying?
Yeah, it's just like, you're, okay.
I just want to say that. 3, 2.
You're complaining in a private group about how it's unacceptable, yet you're giving them your money anyway. So
Yeah, and that's what I was
obviously,
getting at.
you are accepting it.
Steve had mentioned, like, I think that there's levels of like, at this point, we're going to call them out, and then maybe the next time, I'll cancel an order. But my train of thought is, and anyone that listens to our show knows that any company will call them out. We're not like a Hot Toys fanboy show or a Sideshow fanboy show or even Chronicle or, like these companies that we love, we're more than happy to call them out.
I don't like Chronicle.
That's why we call, almost anytime anything like that, with Shuri, we called them out with, many things throughout our year of
A
recording.
lot of shit.
So,
You a lot, like more than most.
Yeah.
so I will say that's kind of what I was getting at this morning, Steve. So I hope that we're still cool and everything, but that's kind of, I just wanted to explain on my show what I was trying to say earlier. And I look forward to hearing you guys' podcast, the Scavengers Assemble, to hear what your thoughts were, because he had mentioned he was going to give some more detailed thoughts. So check out their YouTube channel, 6 Scale Scavengers. Wonderful, wonderful show. And I think they're doing a Scavengers Assemble
You
this
started
Friday
a fight,
or next Friday.
then they make the pancakes?
No, I didn't start a fight. I'm just saying my part of, because I told him, I was like,
No, I'm on your side. If he wants to fight, I'll fight. I got your
we
back.
don't have Jesse. We're gonna lose the fight.
Well, we got Victor.
Oh hell yeah, dude. That's what did
Victor's huge, dude.
So that's kind of what I was getting at, Steve. I hope that we still love each
Yeah,
other.
we're just fine. We're just fine.
Anyway, so Justice League Batman was released today, and
Why?
honestly, it's there.
It's a beautiful figure, but why?
I have nothing good and nothing bad to say about it.
I want
It
to
looks
know
great,
why
but-
the hell it took so long.
That's the thing.
Like
This
they
is
made
Not only
two
has it
already.
taken too long, they made 2. It's like, where the hell's Cyborg? I don't even give a shit about Cyborg or completing that wave, but like logically, how are you gonna have two Batman this far down and still not have a Cyborg?
Yeah.
I've canceled it. Like it's like, okay, what did you cancel Cyborg for? It obviously isn't because it was gonna take too long to come out. If you're dropping Batman after already one is, or
And they still haven't even come out with Superman yet, so.
Really?
Yeah,
It's
Superman
kinda-
is still.
I will say the diorama base that's included with the figure is just really bland. Some people have shown some close-ups of whatever, I haven't seen this one, so I don't know. Whatever's on the base, they showed it off, and it just looked really bland.
It looks like a great figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks probably
It
like
looks-
the best Batman.
I don't know, a lot of people are saying the first one, or even the Suicide Squad one.
With the
I don't know,
jail
Suicide
movie?
Squad one is that stuff.
You do think that?
Yeah, because it has that nice, like, it has wires in the cape and stuff, and
So,
it beefs up the body.
The one that came out this week, that's the tech suit, right?
Yes.
What is the version? Because you got one like a month ago from Justice League. It was like a more armored version.
Oh, that's the tactical suit.
Tactical suit. Okay.
Yeah, I got it like.
This is the regular Batman
Yeah.
suit.
And then the
Like
other
the
one's like
beginning of the movie.
in between the armored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's a thing, I guess. The D23 Cap in-game exclusive, $300. It's a thing. I'm not a huge Cap fan, but Mike Collins broke the news on Oxpress, so thank you, Mike. It looks cool, I guess. There's like a ton of weapons, some electrical effects. $300 seems a little steep, but a lot of people that got this at the convention, it sold out day one. They're scalping it for like $3,000,
Yeah, that's crazy.
$2,000.
It's not worth that.
What?
I'm lost.
Captain America, the in-game Disney convention exclusive.
I guess I don't know what that is.
This guy, he shows up.
What the hell?
Even I didn't know that was an exclusive version.
Yeah, and so at D23 at Disney's like.
Yeah, they had a convention and they put up this
I know
one.
what the D23 is.
It's just
Oh,
like a
this
bit.
one Manny posted. I was like, why
Yeah,
does he come
it's-
with a spear? It doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense.
Yeah, D23 is like it's just like a Disney.
No, I know what
convention.
D23 is.
Oh.
I didn't know that was that exclusive.
Yeah,
to that.
so and it came out of nowhere because people are still waiting on their in-game caps and they're just like, oh, by the way, we have this $300 exclusive.
Well, and what I will say is super weird about it too is King Zachary
Shout out to my man's King Zachary.
Yeah.
pointed out that somebody talked to Sideshow and Sideshow acted like they didn't even know anything about it.
Well, that happens all the time though, because Sideshow, I think that's less them not knowing about it and more them not being able to confirm it. Because
Yeah,
when Brian from Cisco Scavengers messaged them about the 1-to-1 scale arc reactor, they're like, oh, we've never heard of that. But I mean, clearly, if people are putting reviews on it on YouTube, they have to know that something like that exists.
Yeah.
yeah.
And for them to disrespect the international star Brian like that is frankly disturbing.
It's just kind of weird. It's kind of out of left field that all of a sudden they're like in-game cap at D23.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it comes with a bunch of weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1. There was some delays this past week. Regular Suit Batman, Bucky Barnes, and Killmonger were delayed to October to November 2019. Obviously, Regular Suit Batman for sure because it just came out of Hong Kong. But Bucky Barnes, a lot of people are upset about this because pretty much almost all the Infinity War figures are already out.
Yeah.
And some people think it could be some issues with the arm effect, that dust effect that came with the figure. Killmonger, obviously, he got panned pretty good by a lot of people for being Neon Tech Killmonger. October to November, I guess if you really like those figures, they'll hopefully be in soon. But seeing as how we've seen no chatter of Bucky or Killmonger coming out, I
I
think
did
those,
see a picture somewhere.
that I think was from the initial solicitation. Talking about Killmonger
Yeah.
and the secret base, like the final pictures. I think that was from the initial solicitation. They started doing that this year where they would show the pictures off in front of that fancy backdrop thing. And some people, I think it was on Sideshow Freak, said that that was just a repost of the old picture.
Oh, okay.
So the Batman just was like, picture just came out of what, yesterday? And it's delayed already? Is that what I'm understanding?
Killing
Yeah.
us. Okay, so it came out in Hong Kong, but sometimes like when it comes out of Hong Kong, that means it's still either on the boat or still preparing to be shipped.
So it's still gonna take like a
So,
month or two before
yeah.
Thanksgiving.
I think every once in a while, like with Darth Vader, I think we actually got it first. It was a really weird thing. Like people in the United States were like, "Yo, I got it already." People live in California, and Hong Kong was like, "Wait, what?" And yeah, every once in a while, it's either like a simultaneous release, and very, very infrequently we'll get it first. But more often than not, it'll come out overseas, and like a month later, it'll come out here. So I would say that I can't imagine Batman being
So
later.
it's not
than
really
September.
a delay, it's just when it comes out.
Well, it's a delay because it was supposed to be out already. I think the initial time frame was like July to August, and now they're pushing it to September to October.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
the first time I ever heard about it was yesterday. So I'm like, how is it delayed?
Uh,
But I don't really give a shit about Batman, so that's probably why I haven't heard
Our
about
3 DC fans are shuddering.
it.
Cookie Monster failed.
Sorry, dude.
It has
Yes.
624 out of 3,000, and
That's a bit.
I have to say that Hasbro did not do the Cookie Monster any favors because
They put it up
you put it up against Unicron 1,
Yeah.
but if you look at their HasLab page and their Twitter and their YouTube, they had this dude dress in a suit and do a video of Unicron transforming him. Lots of press releases for Unicron, lots of different angles and materials, and they had some of that for the Cookie Monster, but it was like you could tell which one they were prioritizing. And to me, I mean, I like Sesame Street, but not enough to drop that much on a plush. And obviously, this is a lot nicer than a plush, but you know, I think it was just a hard sell
Yeah.
that wasn't marketed that well. I mean, the Sesame Street Facebook page is like, you know, hundreds, thousands, you know, lots of people have been affected by that show, but the number of people that are willing to drop that money without having seen that, it's just.
I don't know how many people are like, you know what, my collection's never gonna be complete until I get this like super awesome.
Cookie Monster.
Well, the thing is weird though,
That's-
because the Cookie Monster is a part of a
What if-
larger
What if
universe.
like
It's like-
Cookie Monster is their cookies? They're like cookies.
yeah.
Oh,
But you gotta think like Unicron is a figure you can solicit by himself because he's supposed to be massive and you have
Yeah.
other Transformers that go with him. The sail barge is a massive vehicle that you put all your other figures in. Even if Cookie Monster even if Cookie Monster gets made, it's like, okay, where's Elmo? Where's Big Bird? Where's Grouch? Where's the Count? Like, it just doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Are we to assume that they were testing Cookie Monster to see if they could make all the other ones?
Bro, they're like, man, fuck all of you.
Oscar.
But that's a weird thing also because if, let's say you get 4 of them made and then Big Bird doesn't convert. You know what I mean? Snuffleupagus. What about Snuffleupagus? Okay, what if he doesn't
Yeah,
convert?
what Kermit? I know they're not the same one.
Wait,
We're gonna go through all of them.
Kermit's not Sesame Street.
oh my god, you blew my mind. It's Kermit.
No, Kermit is
Muppets.
Muppets.
Yeah.
Sesame Street is totally different.
Things I like. Okay, that's a.
I thought you were about to jump down my throat, like, don't you dare.
Don't you talk about Kermit?
The things that I learned. Unicron though is sitting at 4,857, needing 8,000. I think there's like 4 or 5 days left. So I really do. I think HasLab is such a poorly thought out and executed thing. You can't drop something like this, expect people to pay for it in full, and not open it with international orders.
Yeah.
It's one of the dumbest things that I can even imagine. Like, I don't get it.
I want people that want that figure to be able to get it, just not like this.
Yeah.
This is a fucking really selfish thing to do.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're a multi-million-dollar company. that
$1
makes-
billion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that literally all of your money, and we're gonna make you pay for something else. When obviously what exactly are they want this money for? They've already designed and engineered this damn thing.
Mhm.
You have the factories to make it, just make
I
it.
think that this is for the tooling to make the molds because the original is 3D printed,
Okay.
and that's obviously a very slow and expensive process. But it's like, I get what you're saying. I can see where they're coming from, but I also understand what you're saying. Like, they have obviously the facilities to make these in
Yeah.
the quantity that they would need. And I understand, you know, Hasbro doesn't want these sitting in the bargain bin like the TIE fighters, or, you know,
Right.
sitting at Ross.
For sure.
But at the same time, it's just like, you know, open them up to order and just make however many you get. You know, if
Yeah,
you
why
only
does it
get
have to be,
4,857,
which would drive the price up?
yeah, so,
I mean, not that they want.
Well, I want to say too is like I just think it's way too pricey for Hasbro. Like
Yeah.
Hasbro's not known for like your high end
True.
$200 to $300 to $500 figures. They're known for like your $20, $25, $30 figures, you know.
yeah.
And some people are going to go, it's Hasbro, coming from a Transformers collector, which I've collected Transformers for like 10 years now.
Mhm.
their quality is going down while their price is going up. So I think a lot of people are like, I don't know if I want to get it for that much because it's not going to be that good.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I totally agree.
That's true now that you say that, because a lot more people buy third party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Buddy Shop, there's the whole
Dude,
fucking-
Yeah.
and they're excellent.
Dude, I own the Starscream, what was it? I got from you.
You still have that one?
No, I sold it.
Oh, it's the I want to say it's the MPP-11. I could be wrong.
It's the
It's the
oversized.
oversized version
Yeah,
of the
Starscream.
official.
That was one of the nicest figures I've ever owned.
Mm-hmm. The third parties are knocking it out of the
None of my
park.
other figures were Transformers at the time, so I was like, I don't really need this, so I sold it to buy a Jon Snow. But I'll be damned if that wasn't one of the nicest figures I ever had.
I've always said it, the MPP-10 LOL Optimus, one of the greatest figures I've ever owned.
Yeah.
Durability,
Dude,
the
the transforming
proportions.
was easy.
Mhm.
It looked right. It didn't look like a guy transformed into a jet. Like it looked like a jet
Yeah.
when it was done. That thing was
Mm.
amazing.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
So that's a good point, stuff.
Thank you.
Let's talk D23 for a little bit, and there's obviously a lot of shows that are a lot more into Marvel than we are. So we're going to talk mostly the Star Wars portion of that, if that's all right with you guys.
It doesn't matter.
Rise of Skywalker sizzle reel. What do you guys think about it?
That's,
I thought it was pretty dope. I actually like lightsaber.
That double-bladed, like,
Yeah, and a lot of people,
lightsaber.
a lot of
General
people-
Crow.
a lot of people are like, J.J. Abrams introducing stuff that's not necessary, but it's like Dave Filoni introduced it in Clone Wars and again in Rebels. So there's clearly, it's clearly an established thing.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
because when you have the sideshow Darth Maul, that shit is like 4 or 5 inches long on his
Darth
yeah.
Maul. Not Maul.
Instead of Maul,
Fuck Maul. Fuck Maul. whatever his name is. So anyway, I thought it was a pretty cool sizzle reel. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not excited for this film. A lot of people are freaking out about Red-Eyed C-3PO. I just don't care about this film. I mean, it's going to be cool, and the one thing that I saw a lot of people complain about Grand Fighters a little early is that they were spoiled by this. And you have to realize that if you're on social media at this time of the year, this is Star Wars season. From this point on, you're going to see stuff from the trailers. You're going to see
Not only
screenshots.
that, but they do everything in their power to trick you with the trailers. You're not getting spoiled for shit. Like that thing where Manny had called it when he was like, "Oh, she's putting her lightsaber down," but in the trailer
It was
reversed, so it looked like she lifted her lightsaber.
Don't even get me started on that.
So it's
Every
like,
time that thing
dude,
happens.
this could literally be anything.
Yeah.
Like a Force vision. Maybe it's
Even
not
like
even
with
red.
in-game, remember they shot a bunch of footage just for the trailer. That was
Yeah.
I think they said they shot like 4 endings,
Yeah,
like fully shot and edited.
yeah.
So I agree, but for you guys to be complaining that you're seeing stuff, it's like, bro, stay off Facebook. This is Star Wars season. Whether you like it or not, this is for the next 3 months all we're gonna see. The one thing that I thought was so odd, Damien did not agree with me, but we can be wrong sometimes. The Rise of Skywalker poster used the Hot Toys Palpatine. And here's my take on it. One, it's super lazy.
Very.
Okay. Damien, a lot of people were saying like, oh, well, that just means like, Ian McDermott doesn't have to get back in costume. And yes, obviously,
That's
using
also-
a figure means someone doesn't have to get in a costume, but
that's also
during
like a huge
production-
vote of confidence for production.
yeah, but during production, they take shots, makeup tests,
Yeah.
and they probably have hundreds of shots, plus whatever they use for the actual film, of Ian McDermott as Palpatine.
It's
So for them,
making me think that he's not even in the movie.
Yeah, that's what I was.
that's what
That's
I'm
what
thinking.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
that's
what
what I'm
if
getting
like
at.
this whole build up and he's in the movie for like 10 seconds?
Yeah, I'm
You know?
thinking it might just be a voice.
Yeah, so I will say if you're the toy photographer that shot that picture, you're feeling pretty good about yourself, but I just think it would have been nice to have seen something new.
Effort.
Yeah.
Effort, yeah, because
This is Star Wars.
yeah, you gotta put a little bit of effort. Like, we've taken, for Collecting Weekly, we have like one really nice headshot of each of us, and I use that bitch for every single thing we ever need to edit, for, if I'm putting Dean in a picture or Seth, and that's okay, because we're like very low budget. It's fucking Star Wars, like, put a little effort into it.
the premier
franchise.
and studio, Disney, Lucasfilm, Industrial Light and Magic, like you name it, they're in it. They have their hands in it, and you use a fucking toy. It's almost insulting. Now I will say, it looks pretty good.
It looks fun. But I just wish they would have put a little bit of effort into it.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys.
Mandalorian trailer, what'd you guys think about it?
Oh,
I am super hyped.
Dick Swole, dude.
Dude, it was crispy. Pablo Pascal, what's his name, right?
Yeah.
Amazing actor. This is going to be a film, a TV show rather, that is going to sell Disney Plus, in my opinion. Like,
Oh, dude,
it's,
I was literally looking up when it came out so I could buy it.
yeah, I'm super excited for this. Do you have anything to say about this, Seth?
Man, I am so pumped about everything on Disney Plus. Like, I can't contain myself for literally every show on there.
Yeah,
All
there's a
of it's
lot.
gonna be
Did you
good.
take advantage of the 3-year deal they offered today? It was like $145 for 3 years.
Yeah.
You got to check it out. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal. Obi-Wan is coming back. The time frame is set 8 years after Revenge of the Sith. I will say they have a wonderful novel to pull from. It's I think it's just called Kenobi, and it's about the adjustment period of him from going to being a Jedi to being a sort of a nomad. And the story is fantastic because obviously he has all these abilities and the lightsaber and the Force, but if he just busts those shits out in a universe where that is very frowned upon because the Emperor, kind of has people looking for these people, it is such a good book. It deals with him and the Tusken Raiders, and then a sort of a settlement on Tatooine. Wonderful, wonderful book. The ending is so sad though.
That's
Wonderful book.
That's the book that kind of explains like the Tusken Raiders know who Luke is. Because they're like, that's that fucking guy's kid. Is that the same book?
I haven't read it in a year. I don't think.
There's a story.
Luke's not in the book that way. No. You're thinking of. Shit. There's a book that came out like 2 or 3 years ago. It's called From a Different Point of View, and it's different background characters with short stories. So, for example, like the stormtrooper that stunned Leia. It's from his point of view and like what he's seeing and what he's realizing. That's a wonderful book, by the way. I highly recommend Kenobi and From a Different Point of View.
As the Kenobi one, the one where he like gets into it with Uncle Ben or Uncle Owen, and Uncle Owen's like, "Dude, stay the hell away from my nephew."
I think so, but I don't recall them being. The book is really just about Obi-Wan. I don't think he really. I think he.
Is it a comic or a book?
No, it's an actual book. It's
Oh no, I'm talking about comics.
Oh yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. No, in this one, I think he mentions like what he has to do, but he's like, I need to find a home. I need to find, because he doesn't have any money. He has to kind of make his way. It's a wonderful, wonderful book.
Did Jedi's have money? I don't know.
Well, they had money, but it's the Outer Rim. They don't take credits out there, so. So that's going to be a really cool show. Now, this was rumored. I don't think it was actually confirmed at D23, but there's a new mall. Did I say it?
There you go.
There's a new mall. I'm very conscious here. A new mall show, and for me, Darth Maul is a very fleshed out character. You have in the Plagueis novel, it talks about how he was discovered in his early years. There's comic books that talk about his what's the first episode one? Phantom Menace, pre-Phantom Menace years. Obviously, we have Phantom Menace, then we have Clone Wars, which is his post-Phantom Menace years.
Story arc.
You have Rebels, which is the last period of time in his life. Fleshed out in Solo, and supposedly if they make a second and third Solo, we'll see more of him. I just think that there's a lot of characters that are very important that don't have the amount of content. Boba Fett, for example.
I'd rather watch a show about Bib Fortuna. Like, let me see what that motherfucker's doing for travel on the day-to-day. I don't give a shit about Maul.
Yeah.
Why do we need more of this guy shoved down our throat?
Now, Damien said a really interesting point. It's like, well, this is Star Wars content. We shouldn't complain. And I certainly can agree somewhat with that.
No.
But it's just, this guy has so much content. It's like, God damn.
He's not even a good bad guy. He fails at everything he does.
Yeah.
He fucking sucks.
I don't know.
I really don't like Maul.
I don't like him either. I can't even say his stupid name. So that does not make it any better. But I don't know. There's a ton of new Marvel shows coming out. WandaVision, Bucky and Falcon. And, there's going to be, I think probably Brian and Chris, Six Those Scavengers, they'll probably talk about some of those shows on their podcast because they're very Marvel-centric. But
WandaVision one I'm excited for. Because
Yeah,
that's
that was
supposed to tie directly into Doctor Strange.
Uh-huh.
So apparently, like, you're really going to need to watch that to get main points of the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Which, by the title, would suggest that that's kind of why Vision's alive.
yeah,
But it also takes place in, like, the 50s. So it's like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? So I'm pretty excited. But whatever gets me more fucking Wanda, I'm all for because she's a babe.
yeah. I'm just looking forward to the Star Wars stuff. So again, I'm sure that Brian and Chris on their show they'll probably talk about it. So check them out.
Apparently, I
Six
need to
Girls
go to a
Gather.
different podcast.
Fuck out. So
Come on, Seth, let's go.
Seth, you wanted to talk about some Hasbro news, some new things that they've acquired.
So I read recently that Hasbro got the Ghostbusters license, not just for the new movie coming out, but the entire license to make toys off of all of the movies made.
Whoa.
wow.
Who had it before? Mattel?
Maybe?
Yeah, I
I
think
think
so.
They had to build a figure and
Yeah.
build the
Slimer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Mattel. And I'm just super excited about this because Hasbro has been, outside of Transformers, which I'm kind of pissed at them for,
Yeah.
has been making some really killer figures.
Yeah.
Didn't Hasbro make that one Ecto-1 Transformer? Maybe that was like the first
It was
sign that maybe they had the license.
it was the
Oh,
Ectotron or whatever,
yeah.
and that is actually a fantastic Transformer.
Yeah.
I have it, so,
Yeah, because Hasbro makes Black Series, obviously.
Mm.
Their Power Rangers are pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of killing it.
Yeah.
I guess outside of Transformers.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. I'm excited that I can get my kids in the Ghostbusters now, and they will have the toys to play with, and so
Awesome.
like I'm stoked.
Yeah.
You mentioned they also bought Death Row Records.
Yes, so
Tell me
this
about
was a
that.
super weird story, but apparently Hasbro purchased a company called I believe it's called Entertainment One out of Canada. And they bought it because this company makes like PJ Masks.
Bro, my kid loves PJ Masks.
It makes Peppa Pig. It has several other TV shows, but they also own Death Row Records.
That's
So now
fucking
Hasbro
hilarious.
owns Death Row Records.
That's Dre's label.
Yeah, it was Dre's label before he left for Interscope and formed Aftermath. So technically, Hasbro owns the rights to all of Dre's early music and Tupac's music.
That's
and-
fucking hilarious.
So I don't know if we're gonna see like Tupac toys or like
Imagine.
crazy stuff like that, but there's hoping.
Tupac build a figure.
I wonder what they could get away with, because I was talking with my sister, because we both like to read Berserk. And when it comes out, within like a day or two, it's on the internet with translations. And the people who own Berserk don't own the translations. They own like the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So people can put up the manga with the translation and it's considered fair use because they don't own the translation. So it's like, do they own the likeness of Tupac? Just
Yeah.
the music? Like, what do they own? What kind of products can they come out with? Why do you always do that shit?
It was getting clunky. You don't want to
Oh, buy a new computer.
Okay.
Sell some more fucking shirts.
$4 a month for about it. Okay. 3, 2. Go back to what you were saying.
Yeah, that was basically. You made me cut it short. I don't remember where I was at.
All right. 3, 2. Let's talk about the thing that mattered the most to me this week. Pacific Rim. This was my show. Pacific Rim.
It's our show.
show.
I'm about to fucking walk out of here with that
Obviously, Dean is more of a star.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
He shows up, doesn't even know about D23 Cap.
Okay, that's
Look at this guy. Anyway, so Pacific Rim, wonderful film.
Very cool.
Uprising, not so much, but Pacific Rim.
You know, I was watching
It's
some
a
highlights of
fun
Uprising.
movie,
It's very fun.
but
Yeah.
it's
Pacific
such a-
Rim is a better film, objectively, but Uprising is a lot.
But Pacific Rim was Guillermo del Toro. And
Right.
He did not do Uprising. Obviously, Pacific Rim's going to be one.
That's true. They have a way different feel.
Mm.
So I started working on the Gypsy Danger, taking off some of the battle damage.
Which is
and,
a much cooler mech.
Then
Gypsy Avenger.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, then, yeah, very true. And adding some weathering, Seth, using some of the techniques that I taught you for the speeder.
Cool.
And I like it. It's a very large figure.
Oh,
I just really like this figure. It's very sturdy, stands up quite well on its own, and I'm just very happy with it.
I definitely want to buy one.
This-
I made the poster as well, and I'm selling the Commando to perhaps pick up the Solf Chigokin GX77, which is the smaller but more detailed and die-cast version of this character.
Yeah.
So
It's
Pretty
almost
excited.
like 3.8 Bumblebee version.
yeah, exactly. A more premium type,
Compact, much more articulated.
much more light up
Metal,
features.
yeah.
Yeah. So very excited for that, and if I get that one, I'd like to keep this one as well. But for now, I plan to keep both. I'm just happy with this. Like I've never thought to pick up a 18-inch figure, which is a lot of people say quarter scale, but this is obviously not quarter scale. This character.
It's like 6 scale.
What? No, this is like 1/200.
Oh, okay. I don't know, maybe my fucking things are.
Well, it's more than 12 feet tall.
Alright, sure.
It's a category 3, and it's like a bear. Anyway, so this is it's just a really fun franchise. Seth, I know you have the GX77. What do you think about it? We've talked about it before.
Yeah, I still love it. It's so amazing. It was just an awesome character,
Yeah.
Like when you get it, I assume you will get it. And you see like how each one of the little gears and pistons
Yeah.
move, like when he articulates, it just makes it that much better to watch the movie because you don't notice those details in the movie because there's so much happening.
Yeah. I'm really excited about it.
Damn, I need to buy the second one digital.
It's pretty cheap. It's like $3.
I don't have the first one, but
Speaking of kaiju stuff, I just secured the pre-order for the Godzilla King of the Monsters.
nice.
Very cool.
I'm speaking of Gypsy Avenger. I put him on a display today. The Bandai.
Oh, the Robot Spirits?
Yeah, the Robo Spirits
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I was like, my desk was too cluttered with like anime figures. I was like, I need to do something. So like, I put my Perfect Great Gundam, and then the Bandai Universe Gundams, and then
Mhm.
some of my Mikus in there, and then my Rico and Satsuki from Kill la Kill. And then I was like, you know what? Gypsy Avenger.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool. Seth, you had some customer service stuff that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about. So I did talk about my hat, and I had ordered a shirt from them and some other stuff. Like I really love their clothing, right? So I was like, I'm gonna order some more.
It's Dad Bought Apparel.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I ordered some more, like 2 shirts, another hat, or something like that. And I hadn't checked my email this morning, and apparently they had emailed me that one of the shirts was out of stock. Didn't check my email all day, which is weird for me. I don't know, I'm just busy,
Uh-huh.
And so I get this text like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's like, "Hey Seth, this is Anthony with Dad Bought Apparel," and I'm like, "This is weird." And he's like, "I just wanted to let you know we tried emailing you and couldn't get a hold of you, but one of the shirts you ordered is out of stock. What would you like to replace it with? Here are your options."
Uh-huh.
And so I told them, and like they immediately said, "Okay, we're gonna put this in your order and ship it out right now." I've never had a company like personally text me to say, "Hey, we want to fulfill your order, but something's out of stock. How can we make you happy?"
Yeah.
So that's like really good customer service. And I just wanted to give them a shout out because that's really cool. Like you don't get that from other companies.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm just like, go check out Dad Bought Apparel because that's really cool for them to do that. They didn't have to. They could have just waited on me to respond to the email and shipped out like 3 or 4 days later.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really cool.
They're like, no, we need to get his information now.
Not bad, not bad.
That's pretty good.
Seth, can you pull up RNG for me, please?
Yeah.
We're gonna do the drawing for Taste of Texas. So we had a few people that wanted to try some Texas things, and I will say there are some limitations. I put, what do you guys want to try? And it was like, oh, I want to try these donuts, or I want to try Whataburger. And it's like,
So what do
I'm not spending like $800 to fucking overnight your Whataburger. Eventually, we'll do it for free.
I don't even want to pay for it.
Or we just doing one for
And so let's see. Let me pull it up here. Let me just confirm the number. Let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4. What do we got?
Let's see.
Number 6.
Number 3.
Number 3, so that's 1, 2. All right, so Cliff Rambo, send me a message. He's a member of Ox. Send me a message. And he mentioned Duck Donuts and Styles Barbecue. I don't think we can send you either of those things. So we need to compromise. So
Send barbecue sauce
Yeah.
and a picture of the donut.
yeah. So
We'll eat them and then tell
send
you
us
how
a
they are.
message, and you have a week to claim your Taste of Texas prize. And
I'm gonna tag him. He needs to hear this.
Yep.
yeah, go ahead. So thank you, everyone, for entering. We'll do another one next quarter, and then Brian, Chris, and TC will send y'all one large package, and y'all can
Is,
One
Dig that
large
out
package.
amongst yourself. You in the package today. You're very
is anyone in the chat?
Shit, I don't know.
few people.
Yep.
Why?
Just keep up with the chat.
You look like Cyclops right now.
Why?
Put it over your eyes, please. Okay. All right, so I gotta, Dean. We had a travesty. I've tried to get this fucking chicken sandwich.
Dude,
So everyone
it's
Ox
fucking pissed me
Ox
off.
this
I'm
whole-
sorry. I've been pretty calm. This I was like, fuck this chicken sandwich.
this whole week.
Fuck Popeyes.
Ox this whole week. We've been distracted by the memes of the Chick-fil-A sandwich and
Borderline racist, by the way.
I will say that I've asked a bunch of people from Ox to give me a recording of their review. No one stepped up to the plate, so it took us on ourselves to find the sandwich. I went 3 times. First time, nothing, no sign. They weren't, at the drive-thru, like, we don't have it. The second time I went, there was a sign that said,
Come back again.
yeah, come back again. And this morning I got up at like really early and I got to work and I was like, I'm gonna take a super early lunch. I tried to call them before I went.
Of course
And
you did. Of
the
course.
phone line, well, at that point, it's like, I'm wasting a lot of time.
Yeah.
I'm wasting a lot of time at that point. And I called them and they basically were on like the busy tone for like 20 minutes. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go.
Everybody
Same
else
thing.
calling.
Yeah, right. I was like, motherfucker.
Dude, so I want this damn chicken sandwich, right? So I tell my sister, I was like, let's go. And this is before I realized they were selling out everywhere. So we get there, and I'm like, oh, look, the drive-thru is not that busy. So we get into the drive-thru, and this drive-thru, once you're in it, you're in it. You can't leave.
Yeah.
I hate those.
And they have like the pre-billboard and then the billboard you answer at. The pre-billboard had a paper flapping in the wind. I was like, if this fucking paper says this chicken sandwich is out, I'm gonna fucking go postal. So my sister gets out of the car and like tapes it back properly. She's like, yep, there's fucking chicken. So it's like, how are you only sell chicken here. How are you out of the chicken? Dude,
Bro, you might as
There's
well get a pizza
probably-
at that point.
I don't know, 7 cars in front of us.
Mhm.
The guy at the window pays. Everybody in front and behind us just leave.
Wow.
There's one guy that really wanted.
That really actually wanted Popeyes, and everybody else is like, fuck y'all. So we went to Chick-fil-A, building wrapped all the way around the fucking building.
Those
I
motherfuckers
was
are
like-
out of chicken. I asked the girl, same thing, after Monday evening, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go get Chick-fil-A. I went and asked the girl, like, oh, like, what do you guys think about all this drama? She's like, honestly, I never even had their food, never even had that sandwich. I'm not even threatened. I was like, damn, girl, the Lord is always there for you.
So Merlin said, man, that chicken sandwich is overhyped. I don't know. I'm not gonna try it, but I will say one thing that everybody knows that Chick-fil-A is bomb.
It's fantastic.
And Popeyes think they're
Very
better.
good. Actually, I saw someone the other day, like, people are asking which Chick-fil-A is better, or which sandwich is better, Chick-fil-A or Popeyes. Well, I'm only gonna eat the chicken sandwich who doesn't hate gay people. I was like, I'm gonna have lunch at Chick-fil-A today.
You actually went there.
I don't hate gay people, but I hate it when people tell me I shouldn't eat somewhere because of some dumb fucking shit.
I
It's like,
mean,
I'm gonna eat there twice now. Fuck you.
honestly, my sister-in-law is super gay. She won't be mad at me for saying that. Trust me. And
She loves Chick-fil-A.
she loves Chick-fil-A.
Dude, I have another friend who's like, yeah, but their chicken sandwiches are good. It was fucking hilarious.
I'm just mad.
Me too. I want
You
that.
can-
Dude, it looks so tasty.
You know, it's 2019. Put an automated message that says, look, motherfuckers, we're out of this goddamn chicken.
Leave us alone.
Yeah, I would much
It's
have appreciated
Popeyes.
it.
I'd expect it.
So,
Get out of here, motherfucker.
so
Hold on. I will say that I saw this meme earlier that was like, damn, Popeye's putting on the heat. McDonald's was about to announce that their ice cream machine was working.
That's very good.
Seth, we have some hats. And how do you want to do this? You want to sell these hats? You want to give them away?
You know, let's give some away because I have some more coming that we can sell. So
All right, so let's try to get some hats
He's
into the hands.
giving this one away to me.
Well, hang on. Well, how many do you want to give away?
I actually can't wear hats, so
you can try it.
I have a fucked up shaped head.
Yeah, fuck up shaped feet, fuck up shaped head. Bless your
I'm a monster.
3, 2. So, before we get to the hats, how's Baywatch going? Nothing?
Nothing or
Damn. Rip. Okay, so how many hats do you want to give away? We
Well,
can start with 2.
yeah, let's do 2.
All right, let's do 2. How do you want to give them away? People in the chat, maybe?
Yeah, people in the
All
chat.
right, if you're in the chat, you have 2 hats. Say first, say second, and you know, we'll give out some hats. If you're
I'm
in
on
the
the
chat.
last ring.
Damn, we really cannot wear that.
Big ass hat. Yeah, so these are wonderful hats. So they were from Queensboro. What was it? Queensboro,
Massachusetts.
Something like that.
and these are really, really nice hats. So,
So
They're fucking nice, honestly.
we have
If I could wear hats.
Rainer said first.
and then Reese said second. All right, so Rainer and Reese, we will
Shout out Rainer, by the way.
we'll give you those hats.
He's just a good fucking guy.
So thank you guys for doing that. We are on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and many other places. If you share our podcast, you know some friends that collect, and you want to tell them about us, we really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any word of mouth helps our content grow and our viewership base grow. We're almost at 200 subs on YouTube. I think we need like 2 left. So if you like our content, hit that sub
Fucking
button.
subscribe, goddamn.
Turn on the bell.
Oh,
Apple Podcasts, you can rate 5 stars there. That really helps us out as well.
Yeah.
And Dean, we have a quite the busy week this week. So we're doing this episode tonight. We're recording again on Thursday in the late afternoon. We're recording with late afternoon is like 2, 3. We're recording with our English correspondents, Ian and Pete. That'll be.
3 hours after.
Can you stop it, please? Jesus. That's 9:30.
Late afternoon is like 5 or 6.
No, that's evening. 5 or 6 is evening. Late afternoon. Who is this guy? I know this for a
There's
fact.
noon, and then afternoon is 1 to 3.
So late afternoon is
4, 5,
This is
and
12.
6.
this is 3. This is 1 is early afternoon. 3 is late afternoon.
How do you? That's only 2. So what's 4?
4 is
Late afternoon?
early evening.
That's true.
No,
I would
that's
go
not
with
a thing.
Dude, you wake up at 6 p.m. Don't be
Okay,
telling me about
okay,
late
What's
afternoon.
5?
5 is evening.
6 is late evening.
No,
No.
7 is late evening. 8 is 9.
So 5 is.
What is this?
You said this is early evening.
I said that's late evening.
Oh, 4 is
Or,
early
no,
evening.
4 is early evening.
Okay, what's 5?
Evening.
What's 6?
Evening.
So
Just like
late-
one. Look. This
No,
is about-
you're so wrong.
Dean, you.
That's not late evening.
Rainer said 4 to 6 is pre-evening.
Well, episode 62, pre-evening.
That's a good one.
Anyways,
Evening tea.
Dean, like I said, you wake up at 6 p.m., so don't fucking come.
I woke up at 6 a.m. today. Thank you very much.
I don't know what you want for that, but that's earlier than I woke up, so props to you.
So no head? Yeah, you got it.
Like I said, we're doing a pre-evening show on Thursday with our English correspondents.
That's fair.
God Save the Queen. And Small Talk is recording Thursday as well. Manny is going to be guest starring on
Oh.
Small Talk. They're recording their 6th episode, inching on up to 10. Collecting Weekly Auxiliaries, where you can find us on Facebook. It's a private group. We answer some simple questions. You can join in all the fun. We do tons of giveaways. We even give away a 3rd hat on Ox.
Yeah.
For the people that weren't able to make it.
Well, they could have made it. They just chose not to. No giveaway on us.
T Public Collecting Weekly. We put up some Halloween shirts that have been very well received. Man, he did a wonderful job designing
Dude,
those.
they're pretty sweet.
Yeah, I love them.
He was very hard on himself about those t-shirts.
Yeah,
I thought they were fantastic. He's like, I'll just take that one down because no one likes
I'm like,
it. I was
bro, dude, people have been.
who said they didn't like it? It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I thought it was really good. Twitter is collecting WKLY.
Zach,
Manny.
that was correct.
Oh, okay, I was like, shit. Shout out time 6 Scale Scavenger, Brian, Chris TC. Thank you so much for this.
Which is the one you started a fight with?
That's Steve. No, it wasn't a fight. It was a feud. It was a
fight.
difference.
He has beef.
There's no beef here. I have my high blood pressure. I can't have that beef. Franken Culture, Steve and his wife, wonderful people. They're a great show. They do movie reviews, wrestling, MMA, toys, video games, collecting. Check them out. Of course, Small Talk, the lovely Damien and Dylan.
I have a bone to pick with Damien Dillon. I have not been on Small Talk yet. Come on.
The fucking
What the hell?
spit in your
Yeah,
mouth.
this guy collects a ton of stuff. He's like me. It's not just 6
Shout out to my wonderful wife for making us breakfast.
Yeah.
It was pretty dope. Dean walks into this house and he says, how good do you make pancakes? Starts critiquing the pancake structure.
You have
Those
two
were not-
sitting over here that are
Those were
like
test pancakes.
fetal infants.
They're test pancakes.
Everybody knows.
I didn't know that, so I was like,
Everybody
Everybody
here
knows
starts
you have to
doubting.
have a couple of pancakes.
that's why I asked. I was like, is this one?
You don't make pancakes without breaking a couple eggs, my friend.
Actually, you can.
We
I
did.
mean, you could just get, what's that, shaken for stuff? You can get that. Shake and bake. It's not shake and bake.
Aunt
Fuck that.
Jemima.
I don't know, whatever it is.
And your mom was a syrup.
My name is
You,
Zach.
you can't make pancakes without cracking eggs. man.
Oh, man.
Oh, no, I have shout outs.
Thanks for joining us on the evening recording of, I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I'm just going to shout out the lovely Val. She helped us out with me.
With Manny's 1989
She's a
Batman.
good.
Got put through the ringer on that Facebook group
Good-
today, and we had
good
to
gal.
step in and intervene
Yeah.
with our admin power.
Yeah, and then I told her she got kicked out of the group, and she's like, "Why did I get kicked out?" I was like, "I just."
You should have actually kicked her out. That would have been hilarious.
No, I didn't want to.
Tell her to join Ox.
Yeah, she should. Actually, I want to have her on the show one of these days
That would be dope
because
too.
she's a collector too, and she works at Heroes, so
Oh.
she'll be alright.
Maybe not so much, but definitely tell her to come on. She's a wonderful person.
Yeah.
Seth, do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Shout out y'all for having me come back. What was that
Yes.
You're a
Shout out to you.
host.
You brought. Yeah, you're a host. You don't need to be invited. You just
Man.
show up.
It seems like
Yeah, you
lately
literally
I have to be invited.
show up. You're on the show.
I got a lot of things to do with the show, the setup,
You know what?
the marketing and everything. I shouldn't have to reach out to.
I don't want to
invite you.
hear that bullshit. From now on, I'm just going to show up. I'm not
Yeah,
going to
do
tell
it.
you. I'm
Do
just going to walk
I
over
just
there.
show up.
Yeah, I don't even like this guy. It's actually funny because when I messaged you about the commando, we hadn't talked just privately in like weeks before that. 'Cause we just talked in the chat, like,
Yeah.
all our different group chats.
Yeah, or I
I'm
just
like,
call
does he
you.
even like me? He doesn't even like. I think our last message was like, "Happy birthday."
Yeah. Yeah, the other thing I was like, I need to message Zach about something. I was like, where the fuck is he?
Actually, Dean, I have one more shout out to your sister Lisa.
Oh, yeah, why?
She messaged me the other day and gave me some advice on some social media stuff. Wonderful person. And
She knows her shit, man.
she said that your nephew, her son, looks just like you, and the resemblance is uncanny.
Yeah, it's really funny. She sent pictures
What a
today.
lucky kid to look so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She sent pictures today. I was like, I did the PewDiePie meme where he's funny at the TV,
Mhm.
and I put a picture of my nephew, and it says the world's cutest baby, and
Uh,
then PewDiePie's like, and that's a fact. And then my sister's husband was like, you're just saying that because he looks just like you. I was like, yeah, but I'm not wrong, am I?
it would be amazing for the show if your nephew came on the show and we start the show with your nephew sitting on the chair. We don't acknowledge that it's not you, and then like we run the bit and like you show up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something
Except
like
he's
that.
a baby.
Well, it would be great. It's like, what happened? You look so young today. And then, like, the kid
You're
was
like, hi, my name is Zach, and he's just gonna be like,
This is a stranger danger.
a baby.
That'd be hilarious.
That would be pretty funny.
Or even just a picture of me and him. And
Yeah.
I guess we're a big collecting weekly
Yeah.
shirt.
Oh,
That'd be
shit.
cool.
What you should do is that meme where the guy shaves and he looks like a baby. You should do that.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Anyway, so shout out to your sister.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm Zach.
I'm Dean.
I'm Seth.
Catch you guys in the next episode.
Bye.
That was a good show. That was a really good show. I don't know why those headphones were being weird. Because, like,
No, I'm worried. I got used to it.
I think it's just because, like I said, they're not like the suction kind.
Yeah. Okay.
Great show. All right, so let me see what we got here. Can I see that stack over there? Which one did Victoria want?
The right one.
I'll take it.
This one's fucking crispy.
Let me see. Which one do you think Rainer will want?
Don't know.
Wait, this is a dad hat or this is a flat hat?
That should be a flex fit one.
Ooh, let me try that one. I like this.
Wait, who was first?
Rainer?
Yeah, Rainer was.
He won?
Rainer
This
was
doesn't
first.
fit me.
Can you just put Rainer was first pick and then Reese
Rainer,
was
I'll
second?
take the black hat. Gotta go, raid time.
Okay, so Rainer takes that one and then ask Reese if you want. Actually, here, Reese, let us know. We have this gray one. We have this white one, which is like a more, what do you call this, flex fit?
Yeah.
And then we have this white one here. So let us know what you want, buddy. All right, what a show. We can turn off.
Yeah, I was so bummed, man. I went to Animatopia today.
Uh-huh.
They don't have shit. Which is funny because I went like 3 weeks ago and there was so much shit in there I wanted to buy and I was like, oh, I'll just go next time I get paid. And then I went today and they didn't have anything I wanted. And then I went to, what's it called? Otaka Cafe. There's one cool Miku statue there. It's $50 something. I could get a bigger statue for what else I want.
Nice.
It's pretty fun.
Well, you have a commando that's waiting for you, so you could buy that.
I might change my mind.
Okay.
I may change my mind.
Well, let me know if you change your mind, because I want to start the thing ASAP as possible. Can't believe you didn't know what a unit was.
Call me back ASAP as possible.
From the office.
I know. Did you just SMS text message me? I was just fucking on the ladder or the elevator.
So it's that commando that you built?
You what?
The commando that you built yourself?
Yeah.
If you don't take it, I'll buy it.
Ooh, competition. Well, let me know, because they're motherfucker.
Because I bought the set, but I don't want to like.
You don't want to deal with putting it together? There's a lot of people. Did it come there already?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people on Ox that want that set, so you probably have no problem selling it.
Let me see if Chichi.
You want a cheat?
See.
Yeah.
See how that'd be dope with Kid Goku.
I can have it?
No, that's mine.
Yeah,
That's
this
yours.
Oh,
My God, there's 3 left.
very cool. Oh, that is gonna be cool, Kid Goku.
She has that hat too, that helmet too.
Yeah.
Thank you. This
Yeah.
is good. I actually wanted this. It's like really bad.
Thanks, bud. Spencer's always has goodies every time they come around.
I don't stop branching.
No.
What the hell?
I went to that Anime Tokyo today because I
What
wanted
we got
to.
going on in the chat?
Oh,
did Reese say what he wanted?
Nothing. No, he didn't say.
Reese, if you don't answer me, I'm gonna fucking, I know where you live. We're not gonna send you anything. We'll send you a pile of dog shit.
He didn't say anything.
Reese, let us know what you want.
I went to. I wanted some.
Yeah, Reese is like, yeah, fuck him. Bro, we need to know what you want.
I wanted some Evangelion statues, just like a Oscar, right?
Uh-huh.
And a lot of them are like way too sexual, and I was like, "You motherfuckers know they're like 13 in the show." This shit is weird. So I just laughed. I mean, it's not the story.
Oh, can you angle the camera down? Or actually, just show the Reese. We're gonna show you the hats again. Yeah, that one. This one, which is a flex fit, and then that one, which is I don't know what that is. I don't know about hats.
Dad hat.
Oh, is this a dad hat?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, dad's. This was.
That's like their brand hat. Yeah, like that was like their logo and everything. It's a nice hat too.
Ooh. I like it. It's classy. Classy.
It looks pretty good with this shirt.
Dude, this does look pretty good.
You got some sick ass logos.
Dude, we gotta make a certified crispy hat. Or no?
Did you send me the? Yeah, I think you sent me the PNG.
Or like
I'm sure it did.
have the Clothing Weekly logo, and then on the side it says Certified Crispy,
Ooh, I can do that.
Ooh,
Like
that would
that.
be.
like a seal of
Yeah,
approval.
I can do that. Dude, they put up a
What's this
sale.
called?
Queensboro put up a sale that said like their
Alright,
hoodies.
Reese says the gray one snapback.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a snapback, Reese.
You look at that snapback.
I tried that one on, so it's worth more.
Yeah. It's kind of probably got, your DNA in it.
Yeah.
Dude,
you could comment.
That might be my favorite picture of you of all time.
Is it?
Dude, I was gonna Photoshop myself into Aunt Jemima for the podcast, but I was like, there was some there's some racist Aunt Jemima pictures. I was like, dude, I'm gonna be accused of being racist.
Dude,
But let me show you some of
the
these.
second you said that, I was like, no.
Like,
Jesus. Oh my God. Holy shit.
Okay. Reese said he'd take the gray hot.
all right,
So he can clone Dean.
all right.
He's gonna clone
We'll get it sent out tomorrow or something like that. God damn.
God damn, the racism is real.
Ugh.
Dude, some of those Chick-fil-A memes are fucking racist.
All right, guys, we got the Seth, which one you gonna put up in Ox? We'll put it up right now.
We have two.
I guess
I'll
white
give
one.
two away.
White snapback or white, what do you call it?
Bye, guys.
Adjustable, just in case someone has a big head, they don't.
What do we do with this medium large?
I'll take it.